He's an eccentric billionaire with nothing but a bunch of extra time to spare. He's got his favorite subject and he's happy to share everything he knows about Greece. He'll go to every single ritzy secret event and mingle with his buddies in the 1%, but they find his passion and embarrassment and repeatedly ask him to cease. But never one to back down, ever a pro. He claims there's nothing else that's even worth it to know. So he grabbed his butler Eric and he started a show to see if anything will catch his eye. Now every fresh contestant must babble and boast on the subject of their choosing that they treasure the most. Put your hands together and welcome your host. It's Adal, Maximilian, Josephus, Vin Diesel, Rifai.
It's Tell Me About It. Welcome to Tell Me About It, a game show about proving the things you love are actually interesting and fun. I am Adal Rifai, local eccentric multi-billionaire, and I'm still looking for someone to show me something that is better and more interesting than the movie Grease. So far, not had it. Though I am not doing this by myself, although it feels like it sometimes, please welcome my butler and my retirement plan. And by retirement plan, I mean, the body that I will one day inhabit, a la Krang from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mr. Eric Silver.
I would be honored if you put your brain somewhere where my stomach should be, and then you could talk to me like you're a New York City grandpa while I say very little, and I just spend my time getting buff like I've been in jail for 10 years.
Yeah.
I would love that. That would take a lot of stuff off my mind.
Eric, please make me some French toast. I think it goes something like that.
That's good.
I do a surprisingly good Krang for not having practice.
I'm going to write that down on your list of things you're good at. Let me just write that down under flipping pancakes on the third try.
And if I had to choose, I guess we'll have this discussion since people are probably begging for it. If I had to choose which Ninja Turtle I was, I guess I'd probably go with Casey Jones, since I'm such a big sports head.
That's true. You love hockey. And I would choose April O'Neil because I don't think newspapers are dead.
And you look great in yellow.
I do. And I like it. I like it when teenage boys save me from peril. They're just some guys hanging out below and hanging out with ooze and sewers. They're nice. They're nice.
I guess they know more. It's more like Krav Maga or like Taekwondo. I don't know if they're ninjas. I mean, they use smoke bombs.
Yeah.
But just in terms of the martial arts that they display in the cartoon and the comics, I don't know if that's ninjutsu. It seems more like a ground and pound.
Yeah, it's more like a Ninjago sort of thing, like a Lego ninja sort of thing.
Yes, thank you so much, Eric. Eric Silver, one is Silver. One day I'll meet Eric Gold and he'll replace you in the new year, but for now, I am stuck with you. Eric, who do we have on the podcast today?
We have podcaster, CEO of Multitude, former finance employee, and McLoughlin, Amanda McLoughlin. Come on down.
Hello. Thank you for having me. I'm not waiting to upgrade to a gold model. This is the one for me.
Oh,
I'm on the silver standard. You know what I mean?
Well, that's adorable. Amanda, I'm immediately charmed by you. It's so nice to meet you. Thanks for coming on the podcast. Thank you for putting up with Eric, to be honest. I know that I keep him here at the compound for 340 days of the year. But I'm sure you two make do with the time that he has available with you. Amanda, what are you here to talk to us about?
I'm here to talk about retirement plans, which are a surprisingly twisty, political, intriguing, and overall just really interesting subject that I became an accidental expert in when I had an English degree and lots of student loans and took the first job I could find, which happened to be at an investment bank.
You're here to talk to us about retirement plans? Eric?
Yes.
Fucking finally, we got a guest that's giving something helpful in the world, that's planting the seeds of financial responsibility into the arid soil of humanity. I mean, previously, no knock against the guest, but previously it's like, hey man, I love fucking Legos or whatever. And it's like, my eyes glaze over like a great white shark and I go, sure, dude, whatever you want. But now, finally, Eric, we have secured a guest who's going to actually give value to this show.
You told
Release the doves. Wow, those doves sound insane.
I had a very limited budget. I had to find them. Shredder gave them to me. He said it was the sewer doves. Okay. They're different.
Yeah, I was going to say those doves sound like all tongue.
Oh, sorry, there was a turkey in there. Get out of here.
It also kind of sounded like the opening to White Lotus.
That's true. That's very fair. Mike White has written this episode, and someone's going to die at the end. I'm not going to say who. I'm not going to say who.
Is it my financial future if I don't plan for retirement?
Probably. I think that's what he's getting at. Yeah. I also did give Janet Vardy $10,000 to invest in miniatures, and she has not called me back.
Interesting. Well, we'll have to have Janet back on to explain herself. But for now, Amanda, you famously, aforementionedly, live with Eric.
Yes.
Where did the two of you live?
We live in North Brooklyn, right near the Multitude studio.
North Brooklyn. Is that, I know there's Dumbo and Soho. Is North Brooklyn called like Nooklyn, or do we have a name for that?
No, that's where the neighborhoods of Williamsburg and, more interestingly, Greenpoint are. When we first met, Eric lived in Bushwick, Brooklyn. I lived in Astoria, Queens. And so when we found a new neighborhood together, as we moved in together, we compromised on the part of Brooklyn nearest to Queens, which is Greenpoint.
Yeah, it was the only way to get her. It was the only way to get her out of Queens.
Smart. And Amanda, I have to ask.
Yeah.
The people are probably dying to know, on the edge of their seat, which Ninja Turtle are you?
I think, is there like a bookish one?
Yeah, there's the guy who
Donatello.
likes machines. Yeah.
Yes, that would be me. I'm a bookish child, bookish adult, and that's the character I most often empathize with.
Eric, I am going to have to dock your pay for the week. Donatello doesn't love machines. Donatello does machines.
I'm sorry.
Damn.
I'm sorry. I was so baffled by the theme song, and all I want to be is a rude dude with attitude that I forgot.
Yeah.
You're
being like Raphael, who's cool but rude. You misunderstood. Donatello does machines. Now, interpret that how you will.
I was going to say, is there textual evidence for what that actually means?
I think we all assume what it means.
Sure.
And that makes Donatello a bit of a fucking freak.
He's lonely, and there's one woman who likes them. And she probably has a boyfriend. Casey Jones, they're dating. Because they're both humans, and the other four are horny turtle teens.
Yeah, absolutely. And they got a strict father figure. Oh, well, it's a mess.
Yeah. Adal, I told you to stop calling my dad a rat. That's not true.
Well, until I am proven otherwise by a legal driver's license, I will continue down that lane. Eric, if you don't mind, why don't we go ahead and sashay into round one?
Absolutely. Amanda, this is round one. Just tell me about it. I have 10 foundational points that I have compiled from various places across the internet, because you can't just Wikipedia
retirement plans?
Funds.
No, you can't.
So really, I compiled this from some places from Investopedia and CNBC.
Oh,
and I have some fundamental points about retirement funds that I would love to see if you can hit. You get 5 minutes on the clock, and you get points for every bullet you hit, especially if you make them sound interesting and cool. And Mr. Rifai, my friend from work, will be giving you bonus points. You're my boss from work.
Yes.
Your handler.
My handler from work. You know Mr. Rifai, my handler from work?
Yeah.
I'm like Jack Hanna, and Eric's like my, bald eagle who swoops in onto my leathered gloved hand.
Yeah.
Now, I do just have to say that when Eric told me his new job came with retirement benefits, I didn't know he was the benefit for your retirement. I thought maybe, Eric, you had like a retirement plan, defined contribution, defined benefit, one of the versions of the plans that we have here. So we may have to just kind of talk about that offline.
Oh, no, I do have a plan, but it's only if Mr. Rifai dies first.
Oh, I mean...
Yes, and actually, just to clarify, just so I'm giving the appropriate legalese, Eric, you actually, when you signed your contract with me, you signed up for a retirement plan. Now, I am Adal Rifai, and instead of retiring, I will be refiring. Refiring is a very complex web of lies, since it's mostly just a loophole for me to be able to fire you at any time, and also to pull the rug out from underneath you, both literally and metaphorically.
Yeah.
Amanda, I'm dying to hear you answer this first round in terms of the explanations, but I do have to prep you and warn you.
Sure.
The only thing I know about finance, I have learned from the rooftop scene of Shawshank Redemption. So,
great.
If you could really lean into any sort of $60,000 one-time gifts to your spouse, or even just mentioning Tim Robbins in any way, that would really be a boon to me understanding this, and it might be a path to some bonus points.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Sending a check to yourself in the mail so it's a legally binding document, that would all work out really well.
Thank you.
Do my best.
Yeah. And also, one of the benefits, there's iced coffee in the break room.
Oh.
Yeah, that's good. It's good. It's good to work here. We're a family as well as a workplace.
We're a family, so we don't talk about our problems. Yeah.
No, and my father figure / handler of Mr. Rifai is my father.
Sorry to keep bringing up the legal department, but legally we can't say we're a family. That trademark is owned by both Olive Garden and Vin Diesel.
Oh, you're right.
We go for life a quarter kilometer at a time. Totally different.
Totally different.
Okay, I put 5 minutes on the clock. Please explain retirement plans to us and go.
Retirement plans are a metaphor for the abdication of responsibility by the American government for the welfare of people and the social safety net people. This is what we're talking about here. So in the olden times, when we all lived in villages and when, our lifespans weren't very long and you kind of worked most of your life and then the lucky ones maybe lived a little bit beyond when you're able to work, the people responsible for taking care of you after you couldn't work and earn a wage anymore or grow your own food anymore were your family, were your church, were the your community group, the people near you. And as the Industrial Revolution happened, as people started to move to cities, as the social ties got looser in modernity, suddenly you were no longer surrounded by people who are responsible for you, but instead living somewhere kind of more anonymously and working for a company. And especially as the corporate structure of America was invented in the 1800s or in the early 1900s, you might, earn a wage from somebody else and then, get old and need someone to take care of you, but you don't have your family around you. You don't have a plot of land and, food that you and your sons and your grandsons can all grow. And so the way that companies used to take care of employees after they retired was called a pension plan, where this is a mythical creature for people under 50 like us. But it was a case where you got paid, and much like Social Security or other kind of retirement schemes in different countries, the money you make when you're in your earning years, some of that is taxed and goes to a big fund that helps pay people after they retire. And companies would do that individually so that when you retire from the school district or the firehouse or the company or the factory, you would get paid in your retirement because you helped earn a lot of money for the people who were retiring when you were still working. In the 1970s, there was a law passed, and the IRS decided that this fun little scheme where companies it was called a CODA, basically deferred compensation scheme, where companies used to say to executives, hey, we know you hate paying taxes. We know you hate giving up money. Mr. Rifai is a billionaire. This may really, resonate with you.
Yes.
Where, you may pay several $1 million of tax on your many millions of dollars of income. But what if there was just a fun little tax code where instead you could pay less taxes and earn more money on, say, the stocks or the profits that you get to share in the company?
I'm listening. A tax code a la Contra, like the up, down, left, right, select, start.
Yeah, a sort of Shawshank Redemption of taxes. I haven't seen that film.
Thank you.
I'm trying my best here.
Wait, you've never seen Shawshank Redemption, so you haven't turned on a TV in the last 22 years?
That's true. I am a cord never millennial. I have not had cable before.
Yeah, you can find the tax code in the back of Nintendo Power Magazine, where X-Men is on arcades right now.
Of course, Eric famously pronounces it Mario Brothers. I'm just exhausted.
It's my fatal flaw. Yeah.
So in the 1970s, the government is like, you know what is better than having companies and maybe the government be responsible for people after they stop working and being economically productive to society? If instead nobody's responsible for that and you are responsible yourself for saving for your own retirement. And so a literal guy named Ted came up with the idea for a 401k. This was a clause. The 401k is a clause of the tax code that originally was supposed to rein in corruption and stop companies from letting billionaires, I'm so sorry, Mr. Rifai, like yourself, from not paying adequate taxes. And
you said this gentleman's name was Ted? I think I've seen the biopic starring Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
And
the teddy bear, right?
Fascinating life, this man.
Fascinating life. He got very rich, as you may recall from the film, because he worked for a retirement consulting company and invented the thing through a, quote, aggressive interpretation of the tax code, this thing called a 401k, which is basically a savings account that you don't get to start unless your employer lets you, and you save for your own retirement. They let you not pay taxes on your income now, but pay it in the future, later. Don't worry about it. But don't worry, the company company does get tax credits and benefits by letting you save for retirement. You don't get those now. They get them now. And so in that time, pensions have gone almost to zero. Almost nobody gets pensions anymore. Only about 68% of people in the U.S. are eligible for 401ks. Again, your employer has to let you open one. The employer has to sponsor the savings account, like when you were a child and had a paycheck and your parents had to go to the bank to open an account with you. And so there are all
those pneumatic tubes.
Exactly right. I miss those a lot. And so now there are IRAs, there are SEP IRAs, there are all kinds of other accounts that you can use. But the point is that the macro shift over time parallels the American journey away from a collective consciousness where we're responsible for each other and to one where everybody is responsible for their own success or failure, and companies have no more responsibilities of care.
And time. Hey, Mr. Rifai?
Yes?
Is the economy bad?
Boy, I'm not, due to my initiation into a secret cabal, I'm not really at liberty to say.
Mr. Rifai is his own economy.
Thank you.
When you have billions under your belt, sir, this is a thing that you don't have to worry yourself with, but it is something that affects peons below you. And so for that reason, just to not embarrass yourself at cocktail parties, if you run into I don't know, a server and they say some joke about, IRAs, I don't know. So you have a little bit more of context for that.
Yes, I famously am friends with Tim Roth, who I assume the IRA is named after.
Yep.
Wonderful man, very shorter than you think.
But so expressive, expressive.
Yes, absolutely. Amanda, fascinating and also very impressive, your spiel for the last few moments here. Eric, what do we have in terms of points for this round? Here's
the thing. When I was preparing this, I put together some things about hey, how does compound interest work? How much should you have put away by the time you retire at 67? What are the contribution limits? I did not have the fundamental flaws of the American economy shifting from a community base to a corporate base and then shifting in that to an individual basis.
That's right.
So you sure did cover the first 3 points I had.
Okay.
That you replaces income and it's about your company. The tax breaks benefit the highest earners. It is in the tax code. You hit on the 401k, the IRA, the pension, the SEP, all those I had written down. So I can give you those first 3 points. You touched nothing of the points from 4 to 10 about how to actually maintain your own retirement as a person, which is what I prepared.
So here's what I'll say, Eric, if I may make the analogy. It seems like your game plan was basically like a high school history book, and Amanda swooped in like a Howard Zinn, if you will.
That's exactly what happened.
I think we're going to give her the max amount of points just for
the
impressive display of flaws, termites in the woodwork. And also for a bonus point. Now, at some point, Amanda, up top, you were mentioning back when people lived in villages.
Yes.
My question for you is, did you see The Village? And if so, did you see that twist coming?
I read the Wikipedia article for The Village. I have not actually seen it.
Okay.
So I'm so sorry. I have to forfeit my income in a tax-deferred plan.
Well,
like a 401k?
I will allow you to invest your points from this round, if you like,
thank you.
in a Robin Hood-style app of my own making.
What's it called?
I call it Little John.
Good.
It's my own little app. So you can put your points in there, and they may double. They may go down to zero. We don't know. We don't know exactly how it works. But why don't we go ahead, Eric, and move on to round 2?
Absolutely. The wonderful thing about Little John is that you don't have to tell the user much of anything. It's just either your money's doing okay or yeah.
Mm-hmm. Those it's binary.
And if it's bad, it's to the window or to the wall.
Yes.
Got it.
So you got a solid 10 points, and we can see if your investment pays out from compounding interest later.
Hell yeah. Let's go all in.
All right, this is round 2, the perfect thing. What is the perfect encapsulation of retirement plans? If someone asked you, well, what's an example of why you love this thing so much? What would you say?
I would say that retirement plans are so deliberately obtuse and difficult for average people to understand how to use them, that they're all named after numbers and letters in the tax code. The 401k is the one that we are most interested in. The 403b is another kind of tax plan you can have. You can have an IRA, a SEP IRA, a Roth IRA, such as Mr. Rifai, your friend Tim, has so famously founded. You can have all kinds of, you can have a 529 plan for saving for your children's future and college expenses, but if you don't have kids, oops, you can just use that money anyway. Don't worry about it. And I think that the thing I like to talk about most as a person who worked in finance and had to learn kind of kicking and screaming all these things about the industry that I never otherwise would have learned because they don't teach you, basic money skills in school, is that the harder it is for people to understand, the more money the financial system makes. When they make policies really hard to understand, that's when they can charge you fees. When they make it difficult to understand what, your credit card payment actually is, that's when they can start charging you interest, all that kind of stuff. And so the fact that retirement accounts are so obtuse and weird is not anyone's fault, but it's by design. That guy who made the 401k is really rich now. Companies get lots of tax subsidies by claiming to help you save for retirement while actually saying, okay, well, you're getting paid $40,000 a year, but if you choose to put 4 of that into a retirement plan for the future, we don't have to pay taxes on it. And in fact, we get some kind of tax rebate. So cynical, yes. Sad, perhaps, but interesting, certainly.
Why do you like this? It's that you've given us a lot of reasons why it's bad and why people are taking advantage. But why do you like it? Why are you here?
You are grinning ear to ear.
You have Joker-fied yourself that you're smiling about it even without smiling.
I like it because it feels like an unconquerable mystery. And in fact, it is understandable. If you have someone with the patience or the resources to kind of explain to you why this happens and how you can do it, you can actually get a lot of money out of your employer. You can actually, kind of optimize the taxes that you pay so that you pay money on what you're actually taking home and using now, and in the future pay, the minimum responsible amount of taxes possible. It's a really interesting puzzle, and I am the kind of person who enjoys board games and video games where you're all about managing the kinds of rubies you have in your inventory to be able to make the smelting of gold, to make the smelting of platinum, to make a windmill in Stardew Valley. And so optimizing the arcane rules and feeling like I've mastered them. And now that I've mastered them, I can help people understand this packet from their employer that is so densely written that they're like, I have no idea. But actually, your employer can just give you $5,000 a year for retirement if you understand how to work the system. I love working systems that screw over corporations. And that is what kind of smart management of retirement savings can do for you. Not to mention, it's a thing that makes you feel a little bit responsible for the future. And one of the benefits of our sort of individualized retirement plan era versus a company paying you a pension is if the company goes bust and that was your pension, good luck to you. Sorry. And you got nothing else left. But if you know how to work the system, get those benefits, use those companies' rules, and you decide to move to another employer, you have a little bit of money that is there for you when you need it one day.
Wonderful. Amanda, I have to say, you speak faster than anyone I've ever met.
I'm a New Yorker, baby.
Just like Krang.
Yeah, you're from McLoughlin. Fascinating stuff about retirement. I do have to mention my 2 adult sons, and of course, they famously claim they're never going to retire. They make their money by, of course, they'll one day inherit my fortune, but they make their money by drop shipping on Redbubble and by all their side hustles. So that's also something to look into.
Absolutely. No, that's very interesting, and a community of Reddit that is very convinced that you can make money by this inventive thing called being a landlord, or shipping things on Redbubble and having people who live in less expensive countries do your labor for you and then collect the profits.
Yes. And our little secret, Amanda, I don't, step over here.
Oh, sure.
To the hologram room. I don't want Eric to hear this. I've actually invested 1/4 of my fortune, which is $3 billion, into something called horny tortoises. Now, what is horny tortoises? I'm glad you asked. It's an NFT that, how to describe it? It's like a picture of a big old horny tortoise.
Oh, okay. And there's a lot of demand for this product?
Well, no.
What you're saying is you have to teach the consumer what they want, like Steve Jobs and the iPhone.
Yes, I keep buying them all, so one day someone's going to look back and go, where'd all the horny tortoises go?
Yeah.
And then bingo bango, I have them all, and I start selling them like horny hotcakes.
Incredible.
We can step back over by Eric. I see you're getting uncomfortable.
Oh, sure. No. I mean, it's important. You can think of retirement plans as kind of like an NFT, but every aspect of that is the opposite, where it is, it is real money that belongs only to you. It is physical. You can't share it. And actually, you're not allowed to, opposite of an NFT, where there's no way that a hacker could kind of like just take it from your wallet or reproduce it or take a screenshot of it. Like it's a strange thing where it's real tangible money that only belongs to you and that you can only access after retirement age, or else you pay a penalty. Yeah.
Huh.
Well, luckily, no crypto person or NFT person has ever gone to jail for anything. So we're fine.
It's true.
Good.
Yeah. Wonderful. Yes. I learned so much. My older brother has kicked my book out of my hands and told me the real shit that I need to know about what's going on with mom and dad. So let's give you some scores for round 2, the perfect thing. Mr. Rifai, can you give Amanda McLoughlin, smart person and McLoughlin resident, a score out of 10?
I think we're going to go for the full, how did Ricky Martin put it, shebang. 10 points, 10 out of 10.
Gotta say, didn't expect my topic to go over this well, so thank you very much.
We just love learning here and Tell Me About It. That's all we like.
Listen, as someone with so much money and I have no clue how to spend it or use it or have it work for me besides building robots who work for me, I am so thirsty for this knowledge. So I'm so glad you brought it to the table, Amanda. And I'm so glad you're not talking about fucking Legos or whatever, Matt Young. Or like, I have to ask, Amanda, since the subject arose naturally, are Legos a good investment?
So ideally, an investment is something that appreciates in value over time. So you buy it with today money, and then it grows in the future. So because, money gets a little bit cheaper every year, right? There's inflation. And so it's important for the investment you choose to be something that there can't be lots more of in the future, because the price will probably get cheaper.
Sure.
And so I would suggest maybe going in for like an ETF, an exchange-traded fund, maybe a blue chip stock, a stock of a company that has a long track record of making money pretty decently and modestly and will keep doing so in the future. Maybe a bond, a
James Bond?
A James Bond, a franchise that you can take to the bank quite literally. So Legos, they get lost, they get melted, they go underfoot. The Lego company could just make a lot more of them. I'd suggest against that, Mr. Rifai.
Hope you're listening, Matt Young, you dumb motherfucker. You're broke.
And on the other hand, it could appreciate because you make a cool empire state building, and then someone comes in and be like, that's great. I love that.
They don't make those no more. Nice.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Hey, Matt, if you're still listening, I'm sorry about what I said. It sounds like you might be doing pretty well.
Mr. Rifai, you could also hedge your bets and offer Mr. Young cents on the dollar to buy his collection of Legos. And then 5 years from now, some of them might be more expensive, some of them might be less expensive, but you get to share in those profits or not.
And he'll be really upset you took his favorite thing away, and then he'll want it back for more price.
Yes, like taking candy from a baby.
Exactly.
Write this down, Eric. Yes, write this down for future Adal.
Take candy from baby. Got it.
Yeah, is that too Mr. Burns of me? Also, Amanda, you mentioned buying things with today money. I'm so glad you mentioned that. I have a suitcase full of it. Katie Couric gave it to me at her last Today Show party, so I'm glad that it's useful for something. I assumed it's kind of like Disney bucks, if you remember that from the 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I bet Ms. Couric is not going to be making any money from the Today Show in the future. So probably that's an investment that will accrue over time.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, it's Eric, and I'm here in the butler's pantry, where I can hide out and no one will tell me what to do, and I'll talk to you directly about the podcast. This is where I keep my personal dustbuster. Her name is Betty. We got a wonderful write-up in Vulture lately, and it's very nice hearing people say nice things about a weird and wild game show that we do. Tell Me About It is not stopping anytime soon, so keep letting people know about our fledgling little podcast. Also, we have a Patreon, if you didn't know, at patreon.com/TMAIpod, where you can be a junior audio butler and get your own little broom hung up here in the pantry. We're also thinking of doing ad-free episodes at some point, so y'all could skip the whole mid-roll at the $5 tier. What do you think? Yes? No? Yeah?
Let me know. A lot of people have joined up just to support the show. Spooky Brunch, Baron Stout, Andrew Ballard, and Stefan Triger. You're all incredible, and I love you. Do you want to come meet my parents? You also might not know that Tell Me About It is part of Multitude, a podcast collective, studio, and ad sales agency. We're also here to teach you how to podcast with the Multitude Podcast Extension School for people who want to learn about audio and read good. People might say that podcasting is easy, but no one actually describes how to get going, how to grow, and how to avoid the pitfalls that might stall a project. That is why Multitude offers classes for podcasters by podcasters. Over the course of 4 weeks, you'll learn from weekly instruction, hands-on homework, and lots of valuable feedback from your instructors and classmates in their online classroom. And if you can't commit to a whole 4 weeks, we have one-day seminars that I think will definitely interest you. If you're a podcaster and want to learn more, this is for you. Learn more about the dates, the curriculum, and the technical details, or to sign up by going to multitude.productions/classes, or check out the link in the episode description. We are also sponsored today by Shaker and Spoon, which is a wonderful local to Brooklyn subscription cocktail service that helps you learn how to make handcrafted cocktails right at home. Every box comes with enough ingredients to make 3 different cocktail recipes. But all you have to do is buy 1 bottle of that month's spirit, and bam, you have everything you need for 12 incredibly interesting and complex drinks at home. And for just $40 to $50 a month, plus the cost of the bottle, it's a super cost-effective way to enjoy craft cocktails that you make by yourself. Get some friends over or be the best house guest of all time with this Shaker and Spoon box. Get $20 off your first box at shakerandSpoon.com/TMAI. That's $20 off a $40 box. Big savings off your first box at shakerandSpoon.com/TMAI. And now, back to the show.
Eric, why don't we go ahead and fast forward to round 3?
Absolutely. This is I was trying to think of a Dorian Gray joke with Katie Couric, and I thought it was in poor so I decided not to do it. This is round 3, the question and answer period. We have some follow-up questions for you, and they will be the gotcha questions that Katie Couric warned us about and was so good at. Mm-hmm. Please answer as many as possible as Mr. Rifai delivers them to you.
I'll do my best.
All right, Amanda, as a millennial, do you think you'll receive Social Security when you retire? What about Gen Zers?
I'm not planning on it. I think we will probably get Social Security, basically a pension from the government, whereas when you're earning money, you pay some in taxes towards Social Security. It pays people who are now retired. And then in the future, it kind of presumes that the government will be functional, interested in paying people retirement benefits, and that they will count my sort of gig economy wages like they do people who work at companies. So I'm not planning on it. And so I think Gen Z should not either. So that's my plan.
Sounds good. Question number 2, the FIRE movement, which stands for Financial Independence Retire Early, is all about young people cutting costs and saving so drastically that they can retire in their 30s? Does this even work, or is it a pipe dream so people can brag about living in Bali on Reddit?
There are a lot of people on Reddit who brag about living in Bali because they, for example, lived on their mom's couch in San Francisco while earning an engineer's salary, saved all the money, had no expenses, and then, decided to move to Bali when they were 30 and had saved $1 million. That is extreme, and most people who participate in the movement and are interested in it, I think, are learning a really important lesson, which is that your life doesn't have to look like, and probably won't look like, the sort of idealized version of the past, where you put in your 30 years at the same company, retire with a full pension at 65, and then go on to, travel the world because you've already bought the house, had the kids, owned 2 cars, all that stuff. Our lives are different now. Yeah. And so what the movement suggests is that you should think about how much, what kind of life you want, what that life is going to cost you, how you can save some money now to help you in the future. And I think the kind of smartest and most reasonable people, myself included, who have read, those blogs and people and learned from those lessons, get to say that, nothing in life is promised to us. If I am old enough to retire one day, great. I'm going to do my best to plan for the future while not sacrificing every element of my present. And, taking some vacations now, but also hoping to, do stuff when I'm old.
Sounds good. Also, to people bragging about living in Bali, doesn't the U.S. dollar go pretty far in Bali? I mean, one time I bought a 1996 Ford Taurus for 2 Indonesian currency.
It does. And you may also ask yourself, I wonder how this idea of being a digital nomad who lives abroad and just kind of lies to my employer about where I actually live so that I can earn a U.S. salary while living in Thailand or Indonesia or something. How that went when COVID started, the answer was not well. Some folks have had to change their plans in recent years.
You may ask yourself that, and also Eric may ask himself, this is not my beautiful wife. This is not my beautiful house. How did I get here? The answer is I did it all.
Well, it's your fault that the only outfits you let me wear are the big suits I've inherited from you.
Ooh, sick David Byrne.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Amanda, third and final question. 80% of fund managers consistently underperform index funds. Why do you think people still decide to let these scammers manage their retirement savings?
This is such a prescient question. Most people who say, I guess someone should manage my money, give their money to your mom's friend Gary or whatever, or your dad's friend Bob.
You said Gary was nice? Do not rip Gary in front of Mr. Rifai.
Eric, I think Gary plays a mean game of pickleball and grills a good brat, but I don't want to give him our retirement funds.
That's okay. That's for fun.
Sorry, he plays a mean game of brat and he grills a mean pickleball.
You're right.
Gary's a weird duck.
You're right.
Gary kicks people out of community tennis courts and sets up his grill and just wants to eat a brat next to a net.
In lots of ways, human beings are less efficient than computers. We have learned this in the millennium. I don't add numbers in my brain. I add them on my, computer calculator program because my brain is less reliable than the computer program designed to do that one thing. And so when most people invest their 401ks, again, it's like a special savings account, but the money doesn't just sit there. You invest it in the stock market. And that allows you to have it grow more than just the, 1% interest that your bank might give you on, say, a savings account. And so what most people should do, I'm no longer a financial advisor, but what I can say is that this is good advice from me, a person, and you should ask your own financial advisor to do so, is to invest in an index fund, which is basically just like a smart sampling of lots of stuff out there in the stock market. And you get a little tiny bit from every single sector from planes, trains, automobiles, games, foods, beverages, vices, all things all over the stock market of different things there are companies about, oil, whatever. So your money grows at kind of the general rate of the economy, which over the last 150 years in the U.S. has been pretty good over a long period of time. Instead, some people are give it to their mom's friend Gary, who buys stocks that he thinks are cool. And most of the time, that does not do better than average.
Gary loves Enron because it starts with an N, and he thinks that, and his friend is also Ron, and he calls him Enron. And I think that's a fine reason to choose a stock.
Gary can see the signs and do whatever he wants with his money. But my money is in the Vanguard 2055 Retirement Fund, which is just a sampling of the stock market that a computer smartly updates. And importantly, they don't charge the fees that Gary charges. Gary is a person who spends time doing things. And so he might take 4, 5, 6% of whatever he makes you each year as, compensation for his labor.
Sure.
And the computer at Vanguard takes 0.75%.
Oh, this is all wonderful to know. Eric, please go ahead and buy me, I think what I'm hearing here is buy low and sell high. So buy me 500 shares of Lowe's.
On it, 500 shares of Lowe's. And would you like to do that through Gary?
I don't know. Is Mr. Larson indisposed? Is he driving a semi with a cow laying down in front of it while another cow sneaks in the back and steals whatever supplies he's carrying in the said semi-truck?
There are some chickens that are looking real smug and a person who is pushing on a pull door.
Does the person pushing the pull door have a beehive hairdo?
She does, absolutely.
Interesting. Yes. Okay. Yeah, let's run that through Gary.
Okay, well, we're still going to use Gary, but thank you for your advice, Samantha.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, those 3 questions were great. Mr. Rifai, can you please give Amanda some points for the question and answer period?
Eric, I think we're on a bit of a roll, so let's keep this hot die going, and I think we give Amanda 10 out of 10. Also, Amanda, you mentioned 1% interest at one point, which is the amount I had in Eric's personal life until I met you, and I find you so interesting and informative and delightful that I I think you're going to go for a perfect score this game.
Thank you. Are you saying that retirement plans are more interesting than the movie Grease?
Well, no, I didn't. No, I never said that. Now I'm angry.
Oh.
Eric,
no.
bring me my angry mask.
Here it is. Sorry. Would you like angry, sad, angry, crying because you can't get the words out because it's all kind of bottled up inside?
Let's just go for a base angry, just like a normal angry.
Okay, here.
Okay, and I'll put this on. Okay, it's a little tight on the back of my head. Did my head gain weight?
No, absolutely not. Your face and head are so skinny.
Thank you. Amanda, I'm going to take off this mask because it's uncomfortable, but just, I don't know, play along and assume that I'm angry.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can say to somebody, stop him, whatever you want.
Thank you so much. I'm just looking for my mask. Eric, if you don't mind, while I'm still fuming, let's move on over to round 4.
That is round 4, the Wheel of Extraordinary Challenges.
Yes. I've instructed my manservant to prepare a few wacky mini-games like a putt-putt course, here to test your intellectual and creative mettle. Manservant, what do we have today?
Well, we have a head-to-head challenge. Mr. Rifai, I know you've been doing those improv classes online.
Yes. Give me a suggestion, anything at all.
Octopus.
No, something else.
Crayon.
Can go ahead and just say Dr. Farts.
Dr. Farts.
Hello, my name is Dr. Farts, and I'll be your doctor today.
Incredible. I'm so glad that you gave Steve Martin all that money. Absolutely incredible.
Arrow through the head should have killed him.
Did it come with banjo lessons, or is that kind of 201?
No. Please, no. Don't ever bring up Steve Martin and banjo again. Please. No one wants to pay $74 plus Ticketmaster fees to see you play bluegrass, my dude.
He pays you to let him talk about art within. It's like a bonus if you just like want to hang around for 15 minutes, if you could just talk about art for a second.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's sad because that happened in real life. This game is called Help Me, I'm Poor.
Oh, no.
I can't relate to this game.
No, that's why you're going to be playing. This is an opportunity for you to step into the roles of other people. Mr. Rifai, using his new improvisational comedic knowledge, is going to become some characters who need help planning their retirements. Mr. Rifai, I'm going to give you the characters. We have 5 characters for a possible of 5 points each.
Okay.
And Amanda, you get the point up to 5 points if you help them as much as possible. Okay.
Incredible.
Wonderful.
This will allow me to dip into my bag of accents. Eric, please bring me my bag of accents.
Okay.
Ooh, and I haven't opened this since 87. Can't do this one. Can't do that one. This one, better safe than sorry. Can't do this one. Oh boy, not a lot left. Irish and not even that one.
You could do the one marked question mark. That one's fine.
I think Cajun's still good, right?
I think Cajun is still good. Amanda does not think Cajun is still good.
I think Cajun's a little bit dicey. It is
a
It's
long
a conversation
standing
we've had.
argument
Yeah.
we've had. I think Cajun's very funny. Amanda does not think Cajun is very funny.
I'll stick to Appellation.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
good.
that's fine. I think that works. Okay, so I'm going to read out the persons for you, Mr. Rifai.
Yes.
You begin you step in to Amanda. Let's say that you've set up a Lucy from Peanuts style, side of the road lemonade stand, but for retirements. The financial investor is in 5 cents.
Love it.
We
Right,
think
okay.
Lucy set that up on the side of a road? I don't know.
Like a sidewalk, right?
I guess it depends what year we think it is.
That's a great way for Lucy to get kidnapped.
If those parks are gone and have been turned into parking lots, like if they had paved the paradise, then I guess it's on the side of the road.
I forgot the story where Charles Schultz put Lucy in a cage under a bed for 6 years.
Oh, no.
That is Snoopy's room. You are remembering Snoopy's room.
Prestigious movie.
It's The Great Kidnapper, Charlie Brown. A different alternate title.
A lot of Oscar buzz.
Jacob Tremblay was incredible as Pigpen.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Tour de force.
It's fucking stupid. Oh, okay. So I have 5 people that I'm going to have Mr. Rifai embody, and they are going to walk up to your setup in a beautiful park, roadside.
I think park is good.
It's
It was probably in a park in view of her parents.
Her parents are nearby. They're going womp 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 to each other, and you can do this. Okay.
Cool.
First person, Mr. Rifai, you are a college junior who's never had to pay off their own credit card, thinking about their retirement.
Oh, great.
I'm a college junior who's never had to pay off their own credit card. You know you need New York. Okay. Hey, excuse me. My name is Philip Microsoft, and I've never had to... sorry, my name is Philip Microsoft Jr. There you go, Eric. I'm a junior.
Yeah, no,
Hi.
I got it.
And I've never... I'm walking here. I've never... financing here. I've never paid off my own credit card.
How lucky, Philip. I'm so glad to hear that. You must be in pretty good financial situation right now.
Takes off shirt. Yes, I am.
All right, Philip, I am married, so you can back that off right there.
Okay.
But I want to suggest that, next time, do you have like a part-time job? Do you have like a work-study job? Do you have anything that you're doing right now for work?
I am currently the CEO of Mind Your Business Enterprises. That just means that I travel. I'm a bit of a jet setter.
Sure. Well, when you do get an employer and can access some employer-matched retirement contributions, that'll be a great thing for you to do. But in the meantime, your first financial priority should really be making sure you have some savings, a little safety net in case, you have an emergency, need some money to access. That should be really your first checklist. And, from there, you could open an IRA, an individual retirement account, and save a little bit of money now that you pay taxes on in the future. And that is a great option for students like yourself, is a Roth IRA, where because your income is pretty low, I'm presuming, no offense here.
No, none taken.
Oh, sure. And you can stop flexing. I'm sorry. And you
I'm
can
not flexing.
you can do a Roth IRA. So you're taking advantage of the fact that you're not taxed very highly right now as a student, and put away money you've already paid taxes on. So later in the future, when you take it out, don't got to pay taxes on that whatsoever.
Oh, that sounds pretty good. You mentioned getting a safety net, like the circus.
And scene. Incredible. Wow. Character number 2, you're a 59-year-old electrical engineer from New York City. You can be Krang if you want to as well.
Okay. Red leather, yellow leather. Excuse me. Hey, I'm a 59-year-old electrical something from somewhere. Can you help me out?
Certainly, sir. What would you like some advice on? Are you planning to retire anytime in the next few years?
Oh, that would be great. By 65, if possible, like the Beatles said.
Incredible. And where you work, do you have a retirement plan set up now? Is your employer paying out any kind of a pension fund or retirement? Because if you haven't yet, there are such things as called catch-up contributions, where if you haven't had the chance to put any money toward retirement yet, because you are over a certain age, you are actually allowed to contribute more than you normally would to help you set yourself up well for retirement.
Oh, catch up. Smack the bottom of the bottle is what I do. Takes off shirt. Listen, this has been very helpful, and I appreciate your time. Flicks you a nickel, because that's what your sign asks for.
Thank you so much. That is great. I am going to go ahead and put it in my individual retirement account, and you ask your employer about catch-up contributions, because now is a really important time to make sure you're set up for your future.
I absolutely will, and let me give you some advice. You stay in this park and never give advice by the roadside. Can you promise me that? Stay here, never go to the roadside.
And scene. All right, let's go. That was great. Perfect. These lessons are sparkling on you.
Let's go ahead and go to character. Let's combine characters 3 and 4, actually, Eric.
Okay, let's do characters 3 and 4. So you are a millennial who's trying to buy a house at a discount because it's haunted, but you also won the lottery and you took it as a lump sum.
Oh.
Instead of the monthly payments.
Great.
Okay. Big pig, small pig. Big pig, small pig. Excuse me, I'm a millennial, and I bought a house from Discount Dracula. It's haunted, and...
Is Dracula going to be your roommate? Because having a tenant in your home, you could potentially have some income as you're paying off your mortgage there.
Oh, I don't know if he'll be living with me, but I think he left his casket in my attic.
Got it. Good. Well, if you need to...
charge him for storage.
You could if you wanted to, yes, or could do a favor for a friend. But that congratulations. I read recently that you won the lottery.
That's what it was.
Wait, Jimmy, you told me this was a home office. I don't know if I can sleep here.
Oh, boy. Sorry, my roommate's here. Takes off cape. I'm a Dracula, too, now. Covers up neck.
No. I bit him, and now maybe we're thinking about getting married for the tax benefits and for no other reason.
Well, if your lives might be longer than you planned on, it is doubly important to invest for your retirement. There are actually such things as lifetime annuities, where you can buy basically the right to get a payment for every year of your life as long as you live. And I don't think there are upper limits to most of those things. So that might actually be really worth looking into for you both.
Now we're talking turkey. Sane.
I feel like we went into a high school to teach them about drugs.
Yeah, and I did, while we were doing that scene, I'm so sorry, I ripped a phone book in half.
It was great, and you did it with the power of the Lord, and I'm really proud of you.
Yes.
All right, we have one final scene, sir. Are you ready to do one more?
Yeah, I think I can power through without a break this time.
Okay.
Wow.
You are an 11-year-old YouTuber who is very popular and very rich. His parents are trying to, quote, manage his money, but he wants to spend all of his hard-earned cash on Pokemon cards, which he says are a sound investment.
Okay. Blather, lather. Okay, I'm ready. Hey, excuse me, I'm an 11-year-old YouTuber by the name of Donkey Butt. My
Every time.
videos have hundreds of thousands of millions of views, and I have lots of money. My parents are trying to risk it away from me and risk it all in the stock market. I want to buy Pokemons. Can you help me?
I absolutely can. Huge fan of your work.
Oh, thank you. What's your favorite Donkey Butt?
My favorite donkey butt is probably the butt of the donkey I saw last, because I think they're all really cute.
Yes, where I tried to pin the tail on my cousin.
Okay. I think that it's a good idea.
Takes off shirt.
Please, you're a child. We're in public. Let's not do that.
Donkey, put your shirt back on!
I'm filming
Let me
it.
manage your money!
Sorry about my mom. She's a real donkey butt.
I have a different channel, Donkey Butt's Mom! This is different. Our branding's different.
Donkey Butt, I think it'd be really great to meet with your parents because unfortunately children really have no rights under current U.S. law. And so, while you can't have assets, your parents are responsible for whatever money you're making right now. And with a financial planner, you all can set up a system where you have an LLC, maybe a trust. Because you're a child, your parents can have 529 plans to not pay money on some of the, I sense that I said something that's funny to you that I didn't.
You said one of the funny numbers.
You also said assets.
I see. I should have known that from your channel. You're right. I'm a little behind on my sub box. But it's important when you have a complex financial situation in case of inheritance, of child support, of a child that makes money, of whatever it might be, to meet with a certified financial planner, a CFP, somebody who is obligated to give you good, sound financial advice, who, unlike Gary, Eric's mom's friend, is not getting paid by percentage of the money that you earn, but just gets just a flat fee like a lawyer for consulting them and asking for their advice and getting their services. So setting up an LLC, some 529 plans, maybe a trust for you when you get older, some savings that can go toward your education, that'll be a really great way to make sure your money's taken care of.
Huh, so I don't have to catch them all.
No, you should catch them all with me. Gary takes off shirt. Don't you like this?
Now we're talking scene.
Sense of collaboration in the future.
Huh. Wow, that felt really good. Those classes paid off. Eric, why don't we go ahead and score that round? I'm going to go ahead and say 25 out of 25.
Now, does that still count because you combined two people together?
I think so. Yes. I think it was a complex enough scene with the juggling the information that I think it deserves a full 10 points for that.
That's true.
You.
Amanda did remember that this person did, in fact, do the lottery and you did not. So I think that those 5 points.
Yeah, and she took a genuine interest in my Dracula.
I sense opportunities everywhere. What can I say?
Wonderful. All right. Well, that gives you 55 points right now.
I realize all the characters I did were basically Kanicki.
That's true.
You know, your typical 38-year-old high school accent.
Who definitely needs financial advice.
Yes.
He's invested only in hickeys, which
Hickeys and Eskimo pies.
they're all depreciating. They're depreciating assets.
And I'm going to go ahead and say, unlike the online classes that I did in improv, where anytime I put on an accent, my scene partner would mirror it back to me, making me get terribly self-conscious. Amanda, you didn't do that, so I'm going to give you an additional, let's say, 20 points.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're
Much
so
appreciated.
Incredible. That brings you to a total of 75 points. Incredible.
Nice. Which I think is the upper limit at which you have to start accessing your 401k. It might be 75 or 76. The government makes you do it if you haven't done it yet.
That's written somewhere. I think that's close. I think it's written somewhere in the number of ages that I had. But
Nice.
you threw my book, you ripped it in half and threw it out the window and you said, "Hey kid, this is what you really need to learn." So I don't have those notes anymore.
Whoopsie daisy. Well, that brings us to the end of our retirement. I'm afraid
Mr. Rifai, I don't want to embarrass you in front of my wife. but we do
Then
have that-
don't. Also, what happened to saying my wife in the Borat fashion?
Oh, that's right.
Mr. Rifai, in our postnuptial agreement, we've agreed to a limit of one Borat My Wife reference per day.
Smart.
I
So,
wasted mine in the beginning of this episode.
It's been 7 days since we started recording. So, Eric, you know what? I'm sorry. That was my bad. Go ahead.
That's true. My wife.
And
I
also-
don't want you to embarrass
Thank
yourself.
you.
in front
And
of
also,
her. Yeah.
I never signed this agreement. Tell me about your wife. It doesn't work as well with your.
No, that's
We have
fair.
found that it works well if you say, yo, wife.
If Sacha Baron Cohen had done it, we're going to follow the letter of the law.
You're right, you're right.
The author is dead, but I'd like to take the text as written.
Although I do think if we slip into German, mein Frau sounds pretty good.
It's good. That is pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a unique intellectual property that you can copyright. and
That's
or patent.
German Borat? That's good.
It's pretty good.
Oh, yes. Eric, sorry, you were saying something about not wanting to embarrass me?
Yeah, we just have one more thing. We have one more segment that we have to do. For the...
Embarrass. What's the final segment?
It's where you do the.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
One more thing. For a
Oh.
final bonus point, Amanda, you will answer this random trivia question about the world's most perfect film, Grease.
I'm ready.
In the script for the movie Grease, how many times is the word Grease spoken aloud?
Oh, man. I am really torn between very few and very many. Let's split the difference at 50.
Ooh, you were off by 50 exactly.
No!
0 times. In the song Greased Lightning, they say greased, not grease.
Oh.
In the opening credits, there's, of course, grease is the word, but we weren't counting that. We were just talking about the movie script itself. But it is never
Gotcha.
said aloud in the script.
I'm surprised people don't ask each other for their hair grease product over and over again.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Right on.
They should have said that. As like Sandy should have been like, "Oh, I recognized you by the grease in your hair."
Right. Or in the mechanic, like, oh, but Kanicki, you're covered in a grease, huh?
Was Chris Pratt Super Mario in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's pretty good.
And of course, well, there's the moment where Frenchie wants to go abroad, but she
Yeah.
says she's going to Athens specifically
That's true.
That's really funny. I didn't even think of that.
to have a bit of a Mamma Mia situation.
Yeah, that's true. And beauty school dropouts don't need to grease the slides to success because they've already jumped off.
Yeah, and exactly. Thank you for understanding. Well, let's take a look at the high scoreboard. Eric, where do we stand?
All right, let's look at the big board. Now that we have 5 episodes of Tell Me About It, our high score is fully filled out, and next time someone is going to not be on the podcast anymore.
I hope it's Legos. Fuck you, Matt.
Thank you. Extra point. One more point for Amanda.
Whee!
One more point that brings Amanda up to 76, which is great. At the bottom of the high score list, in 5th, JPC, talking about The Witcher, got 69.69 points.
Good.
Very organic. It was definitely for the scoring.
yes.
Yep. Coming in 4th, Matt Young, who's really taken a beating during this episode, got 72 points.
Matt, I really respect your work. I thought your episode was really good.
Janet Varney is in 3rd with 73.6666 repeating points, though Janet had 52.666 repeating points at the end, and then Adal bumped her up. So I just had to write down both scores, but she is holding it down in 3rd place after talking about miniatures. Nice. Amanda, you are now our 2nd highest score with 76 points discussing retirement plans, but Dr. Moya McTeer discussing exoplanets continues to be out of this world with 5,000 75 points.
That doesn't sound right, but I guess I said it.
I think on balance, planets outside of our own are a little more important than our, individual retirement plans.
I think so. Amanda, thank you so much for coming on the show. You're an absolute delight. Do you have anything that you would like to plug?
I think that if you enjoy the dynamic of me talking fast and doing jazz hands verbally, you'll really enjoy Join the Party, the Dungeons and Dragons actual play podcast that Eric runs and I'm a player on.
Very cool. Eric, do you have anything you want to mention?
I'd like to mention thanks for giving me 25 days out of the year to hang out with my wife.
Aw, you're welcome. Well, that's all for this episode of Tell Me About It. Tune in next week for more accents, Tim Roth stories, and more of Eric's wives, I assume.
Wait!
No!
Runs off screen with a hammer in my hand.
No,
Say
Mr.
goodbye,
Rifai! Goodbye, Eric!